Greetings, Iain from RTO here. Welcome to another Marathon Wednesday, the day we do the big album catalogues. Any band that's had more than 13 albums, or 13 or more, get the treatment on a Wednesday. And today's band is a band that's been requested by 2 or 3 people, and it is R.E.M. Now, R.E.M, a good band. I've got quite a few of their albums, not all of them. I think I've got 3 or 4 full albums and a live album, and I've got like an anthology, which is absolutely brilliant because it's got everything that I really need. So I had listened to some of these albums for the first time all the way through. Recognised 1 or 2 of the tracks, so it was quite an enjoyable listening these were. So R.E.M, of course, they're an American rock band from Athens in Georgia, and they were formed in 1980 by drummer Bill Berry, guitarist Peter Buck, bassist Mick Mills is a footballer, this is Mike Mills, and lead vocalist Michael Stipe. They were students at the University of Georgia, and they formed the band. One of the first alternative rock bands, when they were noted for Peter Buck's sort of distinctive guitar playing. Very distinctive, you know when Peter Buck's played on a track. And of course Michael's distinctive vocal quality and that unique stage presence that he had when they were performing. Bill Berry left the band and retired in 1997, and the band continued in their career right up until 2011, when they decided to call it a day themselves, with the members devoting to solo time and other projects. This band have sold over 90 million albums worldwide and becoming one of the world's best-selling music acts. They've had 15 albums, so we've got a few to go through today. So we'll get started. So coming in at number 15, we go to the 11th album, and it was released in 1998, and it is called Up. This is the first album that did not have Bill Berry on it. So they used 2 session drummers, Joey Wanaka or Barrett Martin, but there's more programming drum machines on this. So it's Peter Buck, Mike Mills, what do I keep calling Mick Mills? Mike Mills and Michael Stipe. I won't say who else is in it for the rest unless there's people that actually think so. There's no drummers on this one apparently. It's just all drum machines, so there we go. And the other thing they used to do was they didn't call them side 1 or side 2, it was different names. So this is the upside, and this is called Airport Man. I really struggle with this because it's just a drum machine that in the wrong place. I hate drum machines on bands that have had drummers and they replace it by a machine. You know, I don't know, I just don't like it. Lotus, again, I love the keyboards, but it's that drum machine, it just doesn't sound right. Suspicion, I really like this song. I think everything's right about it, even the percussion, and it's a great vocal from Michael. A really atmospheric track. I do like these atmospheric tracks from this band. Hope, again, it's ruined by a drum machine. Doesn't fit the song, sorry. At My Most Beautiful, I like the song. It's a good vocal from Michael, and okay, it's got the annoying drum machine, but it actually sort of works. The Apologist, another good track. Lots of ambience on this one. I don't mind this one at all. It's a great vocal from Michael as ever. Sad Professor, Peter's riffs are really good on this. It's one of the better tracks on the album. You're in the Air, not keen on this one, a little bit of a filler. There are a lot of tracks on this, and this one's not very memorable. Then we go on to the Downside, and the first track on the Downside is Walk Unafraid. This is just a typical R.E.M. song. That nice melody, nice little bits of guitar from Peter, and a great vocal from Michael. Yeah, I don't mind that one. That's what I call typical R.E.M. Why Not Smile? Again, one of these filler tracks, and nothing special. Day Sleeper. It's a funny track. This is. I like how Michael sings it, but the actual song itself is boring. Diminished. Great bass line from Mike. Gives it lots of depth and a bit more atmosphere. If it weren't for that, I don't think it'd be that brilliant. In this is included a hidden track called I'm Not Over Yet, and it's just Michael soloing with his acoustic guitar. It's alright. Then we get Parakeet. Some nice keyboards on this. It's the real highlight of this song. Falls to Climb, the last track, a bit of a filler again, although the vocal delivery is pretty good, but that's the only thing I can say good about it. Okay, this album has got some really good songs on it, but there are lots of fillers. There's 14 songs on here, and 3 or 4 of them are a little bit low par for me, but the tracks that are good are pretty good, even though the drum machine sort of dominates it. But I'll give it an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 14, I go to the 13th album now. This was released in 2004. It is called Around the Sun. Playing extras on here, we have got Scott McGoney on guitars, Q-Tip rapping on the Outsiders. Drums here were done by Bill Riflin. Keyboards Ken Stringfellow, and it's got Hannah Rowe, musician. Now this first side is called the Mercury side, and the first track is called Leaving New York. My favourite song on this album. It's got a lovely melody to it, and it's a great vocal from Michael. Electric Blue, it's alright. It's the drumming machine on this. It sounds very plastic and stiff. The Outsiders. Yeah, rapping. No, you can stick rapping. I don't like rapping. What were they thinking? I'm not even going to talk about the track because it's awful. Then we get Make It All Okay. Really good song this is. Love Michael's vocal on it. It's got some nice harmonies on this solid track. Final Straw. Love the guitar work here from Peter Buck. Really good guitar player, and he really shines on that track. I Wanted to Be Wrong. It's solid. It's not outstanding, but it's a pretty decent track. Then on the Sun side, we've got Wanderlust. It's just one of them lovely, quick, quirky songs that poppy songs that R.E.M. are renowned for. The keyboards and the guitar sounds great, and it's a great vocal from Michael. Then we get Boy in the Well. Nice acoustic guitars on this. Really nice song. Strong vocal as ever from Michael. Aftermath, another of my favourite songs on this. The melody is so good. It's a really uplifting song. High Speed Train. It just meanders. It goes on for too long. Not thing. The Worst Joke Ever. Yes, the worst track ever as well. It's just weak and it just lacks something. The Ascent of Man. Again, a bit of a filler track. Not absolutely brilliant. Around the Sun. Again, a little bit. It's the only way I can say it. Okay, again, you know, it's one of them albums that's got some highlights on it and really good tracks, and then there's some real filler on it. It's not a bad album, but it has got a few non-inspiring songs. So I'll give this one an RTO ranking of 6.6. Okay, then coming in at number 13. Now this will probably be a shock to a lot of people, but as I keep saying, we all hear things differently, and I never really got on with this album, although it sold loads. And it's the 10th album, released in 1996, and it was the last album that Bill Berry performed on, and it's New Adventures in Hi-Fi. So it's Bill Berry, Peter Buck, Mike Mills and Michael Stipe. The high side is the first side, and the first track is called How the West Was Won and Where It Got Us. Interesting song, good bass line, some great drumming from Bill on this. It's alright. The Wake Up Bomb, now I love this track. One of my favourite tracks by the band, actually. I love the riffs in this, it really rocks. The keyboard sounds good and great drumming from Bill. New Test Leper, it's got some nice guitar work in it, and that's the only thing I like about it. Undertow, it's alright, great bass line from Mike, but it's a little obscure for me. I'm not quite sure about it. Ebo, The Letter, I must be the only person that finds this dull as ditch water. It is so boring. If you want to fall asleep at night, put that on. Send you to sleep very quickly. Leave, it's okay, but it's about 3 minutes too long. It's a 7-minute track. It's got some really good riffs on it, but it sort of falls away. Then we get the Phi side, as this one's called, Departure, a really good track. I do like this one. It's a good rocker from the band. Bittersweet Me, it's okay. It's got a strong guitar riff in it, but it sort of doesn't do much for me. Be Mine, it's okay. A little bit repetitive. Blinky the Doormat doesn't do anything for me. I just find it none memorable, really. Zither, I like this track. It's got some great guitar work from Peter Buck. Really good track. So Fast, No, So Numb, another song that's not memorable. Low Desert, another filler track, doesn't do anything for me. And Electrolyte, it's got some violin in it which breaks it up a little bit. It's quite pleasant. Okay, I know I've probably upset a lot of people, especially some of the fans. It's an okay album, don't get me wrong, and it is one of their biggest selling albums, but it doesn't make it their best album. There's some really good songs on here and some pretty average, and they're not very memorable, but the ones that are good are absolutely great. And as I said, we always hear things differently, so I'm still going to give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay then, coming in at number 12, we go to the 6th album. Now this was released in 1988, and it is a green. So we've got Bill, Peter, Mike and Michael, and the additional musician on this is Bucky Baxter on the pedal steel guitar on World Leader Pretend. So, and we've got Peter Holzapfel on guitars as well and keyboards. Does a little bit. Keith LeBlanc, the blank solely as percussion, and Jane Scarpatino on cello. Side 1 is called Airside, and the first track is Pop Song 89. Nice little pop song this is. It's got some nice vocals, harmonious as well, and a solid track. Get Up, really good track. Like this, love the riff from Peter, really strong riff. You Are Everything, probably one of my least favourite tracks on the album. I never skip it, but it's not one of my favourites. Yes, this is one of the albums I own. Stand, love this song, my favourite on the album. I love the wah wah that Peter gets on this, and that's probably why I love this track. World Leader Pretend, love the piano work from Mike on this. The cello really is good as well, and the pedal steel guitar, it's a really strong track. The Wrong Child, I love it when the mandolin comes out on their tracks. I love the mandolin. It's a really good instrument. It's a great little track, nice vocals, and a good harmony in this track. Then we get the metal side. Orange Crush, good song. Love that bass line from Mike. Good classic R.E.M. track. Turn You Inside Out. That opening riff is very status quo. I don't know, it's a bit of a boogie, and I do like the track. Hair Shirt. The only thing memorable about this is the mandolin. I remember California, another good track. Peter Buck's guitar work is really strong on that. Then we get a track called Untitled. I'm not keen on it, but it has got a nice little keyboard ring. It's not a bad album actually. It's one I've got. I put it on quite a lot. It's got one or two songs I'm not keen on, but on the whole I really enjoy listening to this one. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay then, coming in at number 11, the year's 2001. It's the 12th album, and it is Reveal. And joining Peter, Mike and Michael on this is Scott McGonaghy on the guitars, Ken Stringfellow on keyboards, Joey Warwonka on the drums. The chorus side is side one, The Lifting. For one of the later albums in their career, this is a pretty strong song. I like the harmonies of this. It's got a lovely melody, which is a trait of R.E.M. Very good track. I've Been High, an ambient song, got lots of emotions in this. And one thing that Michael was good at is being emotional in his singing, and that is absolutely wonderful track. All the Way to Reno, You're Gonna Be a Star. Bit hippie 60s feel to this, solid track. She Just Wants to Be, a good song again. I like how it starts nice and gentle and acoustic, and the rest of the instruments come in and build up. The keyboards on this is really good. Then we get Disappear. Interesting start. It's a little bit disjointed, but you know what's going on. It does sort of come together. So it's an interesting track and quite likeable. Saturn's Return. This one is again a little bit disjointed, and I'm not keen on that one. Then we get the Ringside, the first track, Beat of a Drum. It's okay. Needs a little bit more oomph in it though. Imitation of Life, really good song. It's one of them quirky R.E.M. songs. Summer Turns to High, bit of a filler here. It doesn't do much for me. Seems to go round and round. Then we get Chorus and the Ring, my favourite track on here. Some great guitar work from Peter. The keyboards really enrich this track. It really adds to it. It's a great vocal from Michael. I'll Take the Rain, one of the dull and dreary songs that's only lifted when Peter solo comes in. Beach Ball, another really dreary song when the album. Once again, a solid album from R.E.M. that goes up and down like a temperature chart. 1 minute you got a great song, and then you got an not so good song. But the really good ones are exceptional. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay then, coming in at number 10, we go way back to the debut album of 1983, and it's called Murmur. So it's just Bill, Peter, Mike and Michael. Side 1, they didn't give all it a name, and it's Radio Free Europe. I love this track. It's actually the first track I ever heard by R.E.M. I love the bass line from Mike Mills. Very good track. Still reminds me of one of my favourite tracks by R.E.M. Pilgrimage, another good track. I love the harmonies on this one, and you could tell where this band was going to go. It's a terrific track. Laughing, love the drum and bass here. Bill and Mike, solid engine room, good track. Talk about the passion. Some great guitar work here from Peter Buck. It's an interesting song, but it's a really good song. Moral Kiosk. Sounds a little about like the Stranglers. Doing a bit of the Stranglers here. It's quite good. I like this song. Perfect Circle. A little bit dull. They do now and again have tracks that really make me want to go to sleep. Side 2, Catapult. The drumming from Bill in this is great. And another solid bass line from Mike Mills. Sitting Still, never been keen on this one. It's a bit too poppy for me. Then we get 9-9. I love the distorted bass on here from Mike. The guitar work from Peter is great. Great track. Shaking Through. Very basic song, but it's got that distinctive sound that we'd come to know with R.E.M. Then we got We Walk. Yeah, it's a solid track. Nothing wrong with that one. West of the Fields, lovely track. Love the guitar work on here. So catchy. Good way to end the album. A really good debut album as well. I think these tracks are good on here. A lot of people have forgotten about this album. They all think it began with the Out of Time album, but you know, there were albums before that, before they were big and famous, and I play this a lot. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 9, we have the 15th and the final album from R.E.M. It was released in 2011 and it's called Collapse. So joining, this is just Peter, Mike and Michael. We've got the first side is called the X-Axis Discover. Great little quirky number to start the album, and I think Michael's vocals sound as good as it did in 1983. A solid track, really like that. Then we get All the Best. This is a short, sharp, rocky sounding track with some great riffs from Peter. And then we got Oobelin. Reminds me of Losing My Religion. It's in that sort of vein. It's a really good song. I love Michael's vocal in this, and Peter's guitar work is pretty good. Oh My Heart. Nice song. Love the keyboards in this. Solid track. It Happened Today, another solid song. Love the use of the mandolin on this one. Great little track. Every Day Is Yours to Win. Solid track. Lovely guitar work from Peter. Then we go on to the Y-axis. Mine Smell Like Honey. Yeah, very double entendre lyrics, and it's quite a catchy tune and I like it. Walk It Back, my favourite song on this one. It's just one of them classic sounding R.E.M. songs. Great vocal from Michael, strong as ever. Then we get a track called Alligator, Aviator, Autopilot, Antimatter. Good rocker. You know, now and again you get a really good rocker from R.E.M, and that one is really strong. That Someone Is You. Again, this is a short, sharp 2-minute song. Short, sharp, punchy. Then we get Me, Marlon Brando and I. Bit boring. I don't like that track at all. Then we get the last track, Blue, a really good track in their last album. A really strong track. The guitar work is absolutely amazing from Peter. Another great vocal from Michael, and this is co-wrote by Patti Smith as well, and they've gone out on a high. As I said, considering this is their last album, it was a really strong album to go out on. I think they really turned up the heat for this one. Some great tracks. Blue is exceptional, along with Walk It Back. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.3. Okay, coming in at number 8, we got the 14th album now, released in 2008, and it's called Accelerate. Peter, Mike and Michael. No funny names, it's just tracks. So the first track on this one, Living Well is the Best Revenge. Another stonking track to open their album up with. Really good rocker, I love this one. Then a Man-Sized Wreath, a really quirky song, great riffs from Peter, got a nice melody to it as well. Supernatural and Super Serious, solid song. One of Michael's best vocals on this album, absolutely booming he was on that track. Then we get Hollow Man, which is a nice gentle song. It's solid, it's got a nice riff in it. It's not the best track on the album, but it's a very pleasant track. Then we get Houston, another short, sharp track. I love the acoustic guitar in this one. Then we get the title track, Accelerate. Sharp, shopping. Sharp. Start again, Iain. It's a short, sharp, shock in sort of track. It's not brilliant, it's not bad, it's just good. Until the Day is Done, it's got a lovely gentle sway to this one, and it's got little strong riffs that keep coming through the song. Really good. Mr. Richards, love this track, really good guitar work from Peter. Then we get my favourite, it's called Sing for the Submarine. Really goes back to the high days of R.E.M. Great vocal from Michael, some super guitar work, really strong song. Then we got Horse to Water, another of those short sharp rockers, pretty good track, I love that track. I'm Gonna DJ, another solid track. Like the what was going to be their last album, their penultimate album is very good, and I think it is absolutely brilliant because it's even better than their last album. I think the last 2 albums though were exceptional. They went through that little lean time, but they come back very strong for them last 2 albums. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay then, coming in at number 7, we go to the second studio album, released in 1984, and it's called Reckoning, or it's sometimes alternatively called File Underwater. So it's Bill Berry, Mike Mills, Michael Stipe, Peter Buck, Bertis Downs does some backing vocals on here, and Jefferson Holt actually sings the lead vocals on Wind Out. Side 1, the left side. Harbour Coat is the first track, an interesting track. It's got some interesting guitar work here from Peter. Hard riffs, gentle riffs, very strong track. Then we get 7 Chinese Bros. Got such a catchy hook on this. I love how the drumming builds up, and you get this gentle guitar from Peter. Good little track. So Central Rain, and in brackets, I'm Sorry. Great track, more guitar genius from Peter, vocals from Michael's. Certainly got that great R.E.M. sound on this. Pretty Persuasional, it's an okay track. Then we get my favourite track on here, Time After Time. This is my favourite. It's unusual, we got some bongos on this, the guitar is Mystique, really good track. The right side, side 2, Second Guessing, a good little rock track opens up side 2. Nice catchy beat to it, great drumming from Bill. Letter Never Sent, another solid track, some really nice harmonies on this one. Camera, it's alright, not a particular favourite of mine. Don't Go Back to Rockville, this is really different, very acoustic, some gentle stuff on this, really nice track. Little America, I like this, it's a very gentle track. to end the album. Another really good album. I do like some of these earlier albums. They are overlooked a lot. But I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8.6. Okay, coming in at number 6, we have the Fables of Reconstruction. Third album released in 1985. Now, I haven't got this one, but I've heard it quite a lot. I think it was because someone had it. One of my friends had it, so I'm really familiar with this album. It's Bill Berry, Peter Buck, Mike Mills, and Michael Stipe. Additional musicians on here. There's quite a few. We've got David Battelli on the tenor sax, Camilla Brunt on violin, Jim DeVac on trumpet, Philippa Ibston on the violin, Dave Newby on cello, and Pete Thomas on tenor sax as well. Side 1, The Fables of Reconstruction. This is what its title is. And the first track is Feeling Gravity's Pull. Some of Peter Buck's great guitar work on this. Love it. It's eerie. It really adds to the atmosphere of the track. Maps and Legends. What a track this is. I love that start from the bass line from Mike. Lovely guitar sound from Peter again. Great vocal from Michael. I really love that song. My favourite track on the album. Driver 8. This is great. The guitar on this has got a real 60s feel to it. And as you see, you don't need to go at 90 miles an hour. It's a really track with lots of effects, great sound. Life and How to Live It, sorry. Some great drumming here from Bill. He drives the song along, especially on that hi-hat. It's crisp, sounds really good. Old Man Kenzie, great bass line from Mike. The drumming from Bill as well is good. Superb stuff. Side 2, The Fable Reconstruction of the Fables. First track on side 2 is Can't Get There From Here. Sounds very 80s and I don't like it. Green Grow the Rushes. Great guitar work from Peter. Really dominates the track. Good solid track. Now let's see if I can get the pronounce of this right. Kahutek. It's one of them short little tracks from R.E.M. It's got a great guitar solo from Peter. Then we have Auctioneer, another engine. Reminds me of U2. Great bass line, lovely guitar bits from Peter. The little taps on the side of the drum from Bill. Solid track. Then we get Good Advices. This reminds me of the Smiths. It's a great track. I like the sort of frisky guitar work from Peter. Then we get my favourite track. It's called Wendell G. My favourite track. It's got something unique. The gentle guitars and the harmonies. A little bit of banjo in there as well. I really like that. I think this is a really good album, although there's a little bit of 80s production creeping in there. It's still a very, very good album, and again, very underrated. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.8. Okay, then coming number 5, an album I own. It's the 7th album from 1991, and it is Out of Time. There's the 4 of them: Bill, Peter, Mike and Michael. Timeside. First song is Radio Song. Love this song. One of my favourite songs. Got some great guitar work on that. Then we get one of my favourite songs by R.E.M, Losing My Religion. Definitely a top 10 song. Love the mandolin in this. Great vocal from Michael. Just a classic song from R.E.M. Then we get Low. Another great bass line. Some Mike Mills. The bongos. Some Bill make the song a little bit eerie, which I like. Near Wild Heaven. It's got a very commercial sound to it, but it's a good track, solid track. Endgame, great bass line from Mike. The acoustic guitars work well on this. Then Memory Side, and we have Shiny Happy People. Everyone loves this except me. I don't like the song at all, never have. Belong, I love this, I love the harmonies. I prefer this to Shiny Happy People, it's a better track. Half a World Away, again some lovely mandolin and keyboards that really worked well on that track, really good. Texarkana, I love the keyboards in this. Got this keyboards run all the way through and the guitars come on top of it, really solid track. Country Feedback, now this is what I call a moody country song with a deep bass and a great guitar and a great vocal from Michael. Me and Honey, nice guitar riffs, solid way to end the album. Gotta say, this is a solid album, even though it's got Shiny Happy People on it. I do like this album, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 4, this is an album that I do own as well. It's from 1986, it's the 4th album, and it's Life's Rich Pageant. Usual people, Bill, Peter, Mike and Michael. Side 1 is Dinner Side, I like that. Begin the Begin, a really good track, love the guitar riffs on this. Top stuff. These days I love Bill drumming on this. I love how the tempo just changes through the track. Certainly one of the deep tracks by R.E.M. Really strong stuff. Fool on Me, great song. I love the harmonies in this. Some good guitar work from Peter as usual, but it's them harmonies that really add to this. Now I've got to see if I can get this right. Cuyahoga, I think that's what I'll pronounce it, but I'm not very good at pronouncing these weird words. Love how the bass line from Mike comes in. You got Peter's great guitar work that really adds to the track. That's a very good track. Then Hyena, some great drumming from Bill Berry, a very underrated drummer. I think I do like this track. Underneath the Bunker, very short thing. It's a very 60s movie sort of thing. Guitar work on this is really good. And side 2, Supper Side, The Flowers of Guatemala. Lovely backing harmonies on this. This is hard to describe. This is incredible singing. It's a good song, I believe. I love the start of this. We have some banjo. I should be wearing me dungarees, drinking me moonshine and going yeehaw. And then all of a sudden it goes into a normal rock track. That's what I like about it. The quick change from this sort of country plucking banjo to a good rock track. What if we give it away? When I put this on, it's very Fleetwood Mac's Dreams, and if you sing the words to it, it actually fits to this melody as well. Good song. Just a touch, my favourite track on the album. Love that feedback on the guitar. It's really good, and they really play well on that. Then we've got Swan H, a great arrangement. I love the acoustic guitar on this, and you got one of Michael's eerie vocals. Superman, my second favourite track on the album. I like Mike's bass line on this. Again, you got Michael, great vocal. Great album from top to bottom here. Not a bad track on it. Overlooked again because of all the other R.E.M. albums. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.3. Okay, then coming in at number 3, we have the 5th album from 1987, another one that I've got. It's Document. Bill, Peter, Mike and Michael. Additional on here, we've got Steve Berlin on horns and Craig Marsh on the Fairlight synthesizer. Side 1 is called Page 1. Finest Work song, one of my favourite songs by R.E.M. It's probably got one of the best vocals from Michael. It's absolutely amazing song. Welcome to the Occupation. What I think helps is when you've got the other guys in the band that can sing. When you've got all 4 of them singing, it's really good. I love this song. Then we got Exhuming McCarthy, quirky little track. One of them, unless you've got this album, you'd have never heard this track. It's really catchy. Love that one. Disturbance at the Heron House. Again, Peter Buck's guitar work on this is absolutely out the top drawer. Then we got Strange, which is a cover of a song but from a band called Wire. It's not as heavy as the Wire version. That's quite acoustic, but this is they do a great version of it. Great track. It's the End of the World as We Know It. Great track. I love this. One of the great hits from R.E.M. And then we got the Leaf Side, the one I love. Again, I love this. Absolute classic. The vocal on this is wonderful, and the guitar work. One of their big hits, of course. Then we get Fireplace. Love Bill's drumming on this. Solid, it's like heartbeat sounding. The highlight of the track. I love how Bill's drums build up through the whole of that track. Lightning, more solid drumming from Bill. Plus there's some amazing guitar solos on this. King of Birds, very clever little song this. I love the singing around, in a round. I love songs that sing in rounds, like that a lot. Then we got Oddfellows. Start again, Iain. Oddfellows Local 151, a really deep cut track. One of my favourites. Great way to end the album. The bass line from Mike is just amazing. A very underrated album, but again, it gets forgotten about because of all the big hits. I do love this album. I play this one a hell of a lot. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.5. Okay then, coming in at number 2, we've got the 9th album from 1994. It's The Brilliant Monster. Again, Bill, Peter, Mike and Michael. We've got loads of people on here. There's too many to mention. Opens up with my second favourite song ever by R.E.M. And it's that lovely title track, track called What's the Frequency, Kenneth? Such a catchy tune. I love the video to this as well. Absolutely brilliant. One of their best tracks. Crushed with the Eyeliner. Love the feedback at the beginning of the track. I love feedback. That screechy stuff. Really good guitar work from Peter on that. Then we got the King of Comedy. Now this is a little bit different. The guitar effects are pretty cool. The strong drumming from Bill on this. I Don't Sleep, I Dream. Bill's drumming again is brilliant, but the secret weapon on this is Peter's guitar work. Such a good track. Star 69. Amazing track. Quite heavy. Good rock riffs. And then we go to Strange Currencies. We get some soon gentle rock music with a lovely keyboard. Really nice track. Side 2, D side, Tongue. A little bit different. A great vocal from Michael on this. It's high pitched, and he sings it in a higher key. Very much in the thing of Sting. Great track. But it's the organ that really makes this track. Bang and Blame. He just singing with his younger sister here. Michael's younger sister Linda sings on this track. and they sing it together very well. I like that track a lot. I Took Your Name. Great alternative rock track, as I call it. The guitar work from Peter is so good on this. Let Me In. Great guitar work from Peter again. Some good soloing. The riffs are strong, and a fantastic vocal from Michael. Circus Envy, one of the heaviest tracks on the album. The bass line from Mike is incredible, and you get supported by the driving riffs of Peter. Then we get You, atmospheric, great riffs, a great vocal from Michael to end the album. I reckon this is probably the heaviest album done by R.E.M. It's just a fantastic album from top to bottom. Not a bad track on this one at all. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.6. So my number one, I think most people would know what my number one is because I have featured it in Classic Album. 8th album from 1992, and it's of course Automatic for the People. Lots of people on here. I'll just see what we've got. Any notables? Well, the most notable person on here is John Paul Jones, who does the string arrangements. There's just so many people that sing on this. So, first track, Drive. Oh, what an atmospheric track on this is. So moving. It's a great vocal from Michael. That bass line from Mike. Peter's guitar work. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Try Not to Breathe. A very great, good vocal from Michael. I love the guitar work from Peter on it here. It's very crisp and seems very intricate, but he makes it look so easy. Then we get the Sidewinder, Sleeps Tonight. Great single, catchy tune. I think it's one of them that you can sing along to. Then we get probably the best track. It's their best track ever. It's one of the best songs from the 90s. It's the wonderful, beautiful Everybody Hurts. This is the strings are arranged by John Paul Jones. Superb, what a song. There's not much I can tell you about this except that it's wonderful. Probably Michael Stipe's finest moment singing in R.E.M. Then we get New Orleans instrumental number one. Certainly got that 70s feel to it. That organ is great. Solid track. Sweetness follows. Very basics. Back to basics here. It's just a great bass line from Mike. Some great guitar work from Peter. Solid track. Monty Got a Raw Deal. I love this. It's an acoustic number. Very gentle. Ignore Land. Great song. Peter Buck's guitar work on this is amazing. Star Me Kitten. Another fine Michael vocal. The arrangement on this is fantastic. And then to add to it, you've got a great bass line. Terrific song. Man on the Moon. Another great hit. The acoustic work on this. Very catchy tune. Night Swimming. I love the strings on this. I think it's arranged by John Paul Jones again. Lovely piano work and a great vocal from Michael. And the last track, Find the River. The album starts very similar to the way it started, with a dramatic track just like Drive. Love the harmonies, the round, lovely track. Okay, surely one of the best albums of the 1990s. It's just an amazing album. There's not a bad track on this. I play this one a lot. I just love the different sorts of songs we've got here. Rockers, gentle ones, dramatic songs. But it's probably Michael's best vocal ever. It's just a superb album, and I can only give it one mark. That's 10 out of 10. It's just an amazing album from the 80s. No, it's not. It's from the 90s. Okay, that's R.E.M for you. Really good band. So that's all for today, because there's a lot. This takes a little while to upload, with my speeds going bizarre this week. I'm hoping this won't take too long. Anyway, tomorrow, as if you watched the live stream last week, I've already done tomorrow because I'm having some electric work done in the flat. So it'll all go up. It'll appear today in the boxes on the thing upcoming. So it's already done. But what you've got tomorrow is a great battle of the debuts, and it's between two composers, electronic wizards, Jean-Michel Jarre and Vangelis. And Picks and Mix tomorrow is a DVD video review, and they're going to look at a great one from Whitesnake, and it's Whitesnake Commandos from Donington, a VHS video that everybody who likes rock has got. So that'll be all for tomorrow, and don't forget, tomorrow is also live stream day. So by the time we have the live stream, hopefully I'll have electrics. If anything bizarre happens, I will look in the community, keep an eye on it if you see something from Mastermind Dave. Have a good day everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow night, because I've already done tomorrow's. Bye for now.